Alright guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout out to the whole LDBC. If you like this video, please feel free to like the video. And also, if you like the content in which this page has, then please feel free to subscribe to the page. It's always by choice, never by force. So, last night we had a couple of fights. We had the heavyweight fights, and there was an upset. Adam Koronaki got upset. He got stopped. But what I really want to kind of talk about, however, is the heavyweight prospects. You know what I mean? As you know, as before, I've been checking on Efe Ajagba. I always thought highly of Efe Ajagba. Always thought he had good power. Always thought that, he is kind of in the mode of a Lennox Lewis in terms of, his boxing acumen, that he boxes, but he's still raw. Don't get it twisted. He's still, up and coming. He's still a prospect. But from what I see, man, it looks like he's going to be a special fighter. And it looks like he's going to be a fighter that's going to be very difficult to beat in the heavyweight division, due to the simple fact that he is covering those intangibles. When we look at Deontay Wilder, right? Deontay Wilder has the equalizer. We know the equalizer has worked for 40-something fights, right? But you're always going to need, as I said before in many videos, you're always going to need a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E, a plan F, right? So, he was relying on that thing very heavily, and unfortunately, it didn't really go his way when he fought last time. But the thing that I that I saw with Efe Ajagba was that he was throwing combinations, and he was throwing different types of combinations. It wasn't just 1-2s. It was uppercuts, hooks, and things of that nature. So that's the one thing I can say that I rock with what he was doing, was the versatility of his punch selection. Because when you really kind of look at it, very, very few heavyweights have versatility in their punch selection. Because when you look at the heavyweight division, what is it really based on? It's based on power. Whoever has more power is going to obviously have the upper hand in the battle, right? Most of the times for heavyweights. In the heavyweight division, skill is it takes a back seat. But I think with Efe Ajagba, he's developing those skills needed to, be a heavyweight that will give a lot of people problems. I really think that with the trajectory he's going in, that he will be someone who, in the future, I'm not saying right now, due to the experience, that he would give Anthony Joshua a lot of problems, that he would possibly beat Anthony Joshua, and there was another heavyweight who I want to say kind of goes against the grain in terms of the Cuban style of boxing. And that heavyweight is Frank Sanchez. And when you look at Frank Sanchez and Efe Ajagba, they're kind of similar. They kind of have similar styles in the sense that they like to throw combinations a lot. And, heavyweights, they really lack speed. So of course, with them, they're going to lack speed. I think that if I were to choose, though, however, that I would say Frank Sanchez has a little bit more hand speed than Efe Ajagba. But they're both undefeated. Efe Ajagba got the stoppage. Frank Sanchez got the unanimous decision. It was one of those fights where the opponent was meant to make you look bad regardless of how good you are. Everybody has those fights. When you look at Floyd Mayweather and Augustus, that was the case. When you look at Devin Haney in that fight he had with the Dominican, that was the case. There are those fights where you just simply can't look good, fighting him. I guess the one fighter that makes you look bad most of the time is Austin Trout. However, I will say that Erislandy Laura, he did not look bad against Austin Trout. I mean, he really kind of broke him down. I mean, he dropped him, everything. I remember that fight, man. He actually did his job in that fight. But I would say that when you compare these two heavyweights, Frank Sanchez and Efe Ajagba, I would say that physically, Efe Ajagba has the advantages, without a doubt. Okay, he's just bigger, he's stronger. He probably has the power edge a little bit more. And that's where I would give him all of the physical aspects. Now, skill-wise, I'm going to have to say that Frank Sanchez gets it due to the simple fact that when he fought that guy, he was good at measuring his distance. Also, he was good at countering that guy. I don't know who that guy was, but it's a pretty tough opponent, to say the least. But Frank Sanchez, he just dominated him anyway. So this is just a short video about these two, but I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they offer and who's going to get the farthest, because when I look at it, they're pretty much at the same levels right now. I would say that if I were to choose who has the bigger trajectory, I would lean towards Efe Ajagba due to the simple fact that he has more power. And he does have that one punch knockout power. I don't know if Frank Sanchez has that power. That remains to be seen for me, from him. So we just have to wait and see. One other thing I kind of wanted to touch on, and I mean, this is just brief, in which I'm going to touch on it, is Alexander Usyk. You ain't heard nothing from that guy, bro. I mean, at heavyweight, I'm just saying, I don't think he can cut it. I really don't. I think he's too small. I think that those guys up there have way more power than he does. I think they're way more experienced than he is, of course. And I just think the physicality really does not do him any favors. And because you really don't hear anything from him. You don't hear about him fighting Anthony Joshua, as it was said was going to happen. You don't hear him fighting Carlos Takam, as it said it was going to be happening. You don't really hear his name at all anymore. Someone proved me wrong, but that's just it. But back to Frank Sanchez and Efe Ajagba, I think I'm looking forward to seeing them both in the heavyweight division, because I think both of them have something that, you know, will keep the division exciting, you know. That's what I believe. And Efe Ajagba, man, he's just a powerhouse. And I guess, as I said, Frank Sanchez, he's the more skilled fighter. And so if I were to give a report card for both of these guys, I would say that they're looking like looking A1 right now. We'll have to see what they look like when the opposition becomes more difficult. Then we'll see what they're really made of. But from what I see, I like both of them. I really like what I see. And hopefully, it is my hope that they can keep the heavyweight division exciting. They can keep it alight. They can keep it, you know, going strong. They can, when Deontay Wilder is finished with his career, that they can take the baton and keep it going nicely, you know. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. I would say that the main thing that's lacking with both of them, I mean, I guess they figure they don't need it that much because of their reach and because of their obvious physicality over most of these heavyweights, is the head movement, you know, slipping punches. I think that's the only thing that's really lacking with both of them. But I think if needed, it can come out, you know, because I'm gonna be honest, when I look at heavyweights and things like that, and then someone asks me, who's your favorite heavyweight? I say Muhammad Ali, not just based off of the things he stood for outside of the ring, but just based on the skill set he had inside of the ring, because he was a boxer who can hurt you really badly. And he was a boxer that, even though he did have footwork, he did use skill a lot, he still was able to inflict some heavy damage on you. He still was able to stop you. He still got it done. He still knew how to pick what parts he was going to be aggressive in. And so that's what I really liked about him, you know. And I think that these two heavyweights, I think out of those two, that Frank Sanchez fits that mold more than anything else, you know, and that's understandable when you come from the Cuban school, you know. So it remains to be seen, though, and I'm going to compare these two to two fighters, just due to the similar characteristics of them both. It remains to be seen if Efe Ajagba will take the mantle from Deontay Wilder, and it remains to be seen if Frank Sanchez will take the mantle from Luis King Kong Ortiz. But with that being said, man, that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Let me know what you thought about these prospects. Let me know what you think their trajectory is in the comment section. And with that being said, this is Fula signing out. Njara.